All right, so this is the only Google Ads tutorial that you're ever going to need if you're looking to generate high quality leads and phone calls for your local service business. So if you're a plumbing business, electrician, HVAC, mobile auto detailing business, lawyers like criminal defense, family, and even personal injury accident lawyers, or anything similar, then this is going to work for you. So my name is Jordan Lee. I'm the founder of JLE Media, and we are a Google Ads agency that has managed over $10 million. So I'm going to transfer close to a decade of experience, knowledge, and data to you all in this video so that you can start growing your business the right way using Google Ads. And as you can see here, my dashboard says $10 million. So ton of data, you're going to learn a whole lot. Let's jump right into it. All right, so first off, you want to go to ads.google.com. You can get taken to the homepage here. Google is going to give you $500 in ad credit when you spend $500. This is only for new advertisers. So if you already have your ad account, then don't worry about this. But go here, click start now, create your account. Once you're done creating your account, then you're going to be taken to a page that looks like this. This is now what your ad account looks like. Now, if you've been running ads before, then your appearance might look a little bit different, right? So if we click up here, you can use the previous design, whatever reason you want to give it. It might look something like this, okay? Either way, it's going to be the exact same thing, okay? It's going to be the same exact setup. So I'm just going to exit this guide here. So I'm here in my dummy account where we're going to be creating the campaign. I'm going to show you guys exactly the correct settings to do and things to avoid when running Google Ads. So that way you're not, wasting your money on ad spend and overall not seeing a return on investment, not seeing phone calls, not seeing leads come in for your business. All right. So we're going to go in here. Here's your ad account. Here are the tabs on the side and things like that. We want to start off by creating a new campaign. All right. So super simple. You're just going to go to the left-hand side right here, look for the tab that says campaign. From here, as you can see, I've already created like a test dummy ones before, but we're just going to hit that on that plus sign, hit new campaign. Now, Google's going to give you a couple objectives here: sales, leads, web traffic, and depending on what your objective is, you can select that specific one. But if you are a local service-based business and you're trying to drive leads to your business and generating new customers and essentially generating exclusive phone calls and getting your phones ringing, what I like to start off is with leads, okay? Although other people might tell you to do sales, website traffic, sales, awareness, create a campaign without goals guidance. I've had no issue by telling Google exactly what it is that we want for our business. And in this case, we want to generate leads for our business, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and click on leads. That is our objective. And don't worry if you guys mess up on this part already. You can always make changes even after the campaign has already been launched. All right. So we're going to select leads. Don't worry about the conversion goals for now. Our conversion goals essentially is going to be phone call leads and submit lead forms, but we're going to have to start setting up conversion trackings. That way we're not flying blind running ads. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that later on so that once we start getting data, we're running ads, and we're seeing phone calls and conversions come in, we want to be able to feed that data into our Google Ads account so that the Google algorithm can get smarter and our campaign can improve over time. A lot of businesses don't have conversions set up properly, and you end up flying blind and you don't know which keywords or which ads or where did this lead come from? Did it come from organics, your SEO, or did it come from your Google Ads? Okay. So you don't want to be flying blind when you are running paid advertising. So don't worry about that for now. We'll dive in a little bit deeper into that later on. So go ahead and just click continue. And we're going to have the options of selecting campaign type, okay? There's going to be search, performance max, display, shopping, video, and demand gen. This is always going to be changing from, Google's always changing things up, adding new features and adding new campaign types and testing out beta versions and things like that. What we want to do is we want to get in front of high intent customers, right? We don't want people who are looking for or not even looking for us, right? We want someone who's going to Google and searching up, accident attorney near me or plumber near me or HVAC company near me, okay? So we want to be in front of those eyeballs, okay? Those are going to be the highest intent and they're more likely to not only call you, but turn it into a new customer because they are considered a red hot lead when they're already looking, finding, and calling you directly. Okay. So that makes the process a lot easier. And this is why I love using Google Ads to generate new customers for our clients instead of running Facebook ads, Instagram ads, where you're getting a whole lot of low quality leads and we're wasting a lot of time chasing after them. Right. So with Google, they're coming to us, they're reaching out to us, which is exactly what we want. Now, Performance Max, I'll go over a little bit of each one. Performance Max is a new campaign type that Google just rolled out. And it's basically, I mean, it has definition right there in front of you. If you want to read that, it's just reaching the audience across all Google with a single campaign. So what that does is when you create a campaign, Google's network and partners, your ads are going to show up there as well. So if you're ever on some sort of like website and you see like those little ads on the side, that's pretty much what it is. Okay. And so that's not really, we're not really getting high intent leads out of that. So the quality of the leads may be a little bit lower there. And maybe the cost might be lower. You can test it out or whatnot. But if you don't want to waste your time and you just want to start generating high quality leads and phone calls, I suggest with search, right? And in shopping, I mean, you guys can kind of go through and read the definition of that. Video is going to be more for YouTube and so forth. Okay. And we're not running any type of video ads. We want to show our ad to people who are looking for us. So we're just going to go ahead and click search. And like I said, select the ways you would like to reach your goals. It's going to be phone calls, but don't worry about that for now. I will show you guys later on. If you guys want to, just type that in now, you guys can do that. But I mean, it's going to be, it's going to give you guys ask some more questions. Okay. So campaign name, you can just name it whatever you want. So if I'm in this example, I will use it for plumbers. Okay. So it doesn't matter. Name it however you want, as long as you remember what type of ads you're going to be running under that campaign. Okay. And so the campaign level is basically the house. All right. I just want you guys to keep that in mind. Campaign level is the house of your ads. And we'll break it down even more later on. So bidding strategy, Google does a really good job of being one of the most profitable businesses in the world. And they are the #1 search engine in the world as well. And they like to be in control of your ads. So most of you guys who maybe have ran Google ads in the past and didn't see that much results, didn't really see any phone calls or leads come in, or maybe you're spending a lot of money and you barely saw any leads and it wasn't really you didn't really see a return on investment. It's because you were running some type of smart campaign. And what that means is that you're allowing Google to be in control of your ads. Well, Google is a business, and so they have their own best interests, okay? Not for their advertisers. And so if you allow Google to be in control of your ads, then guess what? Google is going to try to get their advertisers. Their primary goal is to get their advertisers to spend the most amount possible on their platform. So this is why we don't like to use smart bidding strategies or allowing Google to be in so much control of our ads until we have some sort of data and can kind of tell Google, hey, this is exactly what I want. But if you're kind of just letting Google be in control of your ads as a little bit too much, then you're going to be spending a lot more than what you should be. Okay. So Google is going to recommend here some bidding strategies, conversions, conversion value, clicks, and impression share. If we're just starting out, we want to go with clicks. Okay, you can go with clicks or conversions, but here's the thing. So Google hides this option. I'm going to show you guys a secret on how to get this option later on, because like I mentioned, if you select any of these options, it just means that Google is going to be in control of your bidding strategy. And so what happens is that Google is going to try to get you to spend the most. The option that you actually want is called manual CPC, which is manual cost per click. And that allows you to bid exactly how much you want to be paying per keyword or per click. Okay. And so you can be in more control of your ads and you're not overspending on a click. Okay. So here inside this it doesn't have that option. So I'm going to show you guys how to get that option later on. But for now, we're going to have to stick with one of these options. And if I was to start off with a smart bidding strategy and allow Google to be in somewhat control of my ads, I would start with clicks or conversions, okay? So either one's gonna work. Conversions, is the difference between clicks and conversions is that Google is going to optimize for more clicks on your ad so that you can kind of ramp up your campaign and start getting data and getting people clicking onto your ad, okay? Conversions is where Google is going to try to optimize to get you more conversions. And in this case, it's going to be leads or a phone call, assuming that you have your conversion trackings set up properly, right? So with conversions, since it's a brand new campaign and a brand new campaign, we don't really have any data yet. So we haven't told Google, we haven't defined what a conversion is for this campaign yet. Right. So as we start getting data, as we start generating more conversions, leads, and phone calls, then Google is going to know, okay, this campaign's a conversion to them is a lead that fills out a contact form or someone that calls and the phone call lasts for 30 to 60 seconds or longer. Okay, so we have to define what a conversion is first. And in the beginning, we don't have that data yet. So either way, you can choose and kind of see which one works. I like to kind of start off with clicks just so we can get a lot of data first, and then we can kind of switch over conversions later on, if anything. And with clicks, you can set a maximum cost per click bid limit, which is good, right? So that way Google isn't going too crazy with how much we're spending per click. Now, if you already know what your industry standards cost per click is, and you're not willing to pay much more than that, then you can place that here. So if you put this number like too low, like for example, let's just say you don't want Google to spend more than $1, then chances are you're not going to see any traffic, okay? Because you're not bidding aggressive enough, okay? So if you're not bidding high enough, you're not going to see any traffic. But if you're bidding way too high, then you might be spending more on a click than what you should be, right? So you kind of gotta just find that sweet spot. I'm gonna show you guys how to use the keyword planner later on, so we know exactly what we should be spending and we're not really getting ripped off by Google, okay? So I'm gonna show you guys that later on. For now, I'm just gonna leave it blank. So we're gonna hit next. So Google has a lot of features and campaign settings to ideally get you to spend more on their platforms. And I'm gonna be showing you guys all the little tricks and tips here so that you're not overspending on your campaigns, and we're only targeting our ideal customers while not overspending. Okay, so here under networks, we want to uncheck both of these. Okay, we don't want to be showing up on Google Search Partners, and we don't want to be showing up on Google Display Network. Okay, and this is just like I mentioned, this is when your ad kind of shows up on these websites where people are going and the ad pops up on the side or whatever. Those are not high intent leads. Okay, and I ran a test before. We did include these search partners and networks, and although we did generate some leads, the lead quality, number one, was a lot lower. So it wasn't really good quality leads. And then number two, the cost was lower as well. So, I mean, if it works, if that's what you want, paying less and you're getting leads that aren't low, it's kind of like a hit or miss or numbers game, then you can kind of enable those. But if you just stick with me, just stick with this tutorial here, and you're going to be going after high quality leads and phone calls. Okay. So just go ahead and uncheck both of those. For locations, as you can see here, Google has all countries and territories already checked for you. And obviously, we don't want to be targeting all countries. We don't want to be targeting the whole United States and Canada and United States, okay? We only want to be targeting the specific areas that you service. So it might be your community, your 20-mile radius around your office, whatever the case may be, okay? So what we want to do is actually enter another location. And from here, you can type in your address. So let's just type in Los Angeles, for example, here. So you can target all of Los Angeles if that's, the county that you want to target. Or if we want to do advanced search, click on this button here. We can search by location. We can search by radius. So let's say you only want to target, a couple specific cities, right? So you only want to target maybe affluent cities. So maybe Newport Beach, we'll target Irvine, we'll target, Costa Mesa. Okay, so you can target by cities if that is how you want to target, or we can target by radius. So let's just say your office is somewhere in Los Angeles, okay? So we can type in one. Okay, let's just say it's in New York. Okay, so here's your address, right? 11 Howard, you're in New York, and we're targeting a 20-mile radius. Okay, so maybe you're a law office and your office is right there, and you target a 20-mile radius. Okay, so you can always change it, but if you hover over this, you click the pencil button, we can do 25-mile radius. We can do a 10-mile radius if you want to go a little bit smaller, right? So we can mess and play around with it, and we can always change this later on as well. Okay, so everything that you set right now, and even when you go live with your campaign, you can always make adjustments. Okay, you can always add more locations, you can decrease locations, add more cities, right? So we want to add, let's say you have multiple offices and maybe you're like on Long Island, we can target Long Island, and there you are. Okay, and we can target it by a, let's say for this one we can do 25 miles. Okay, okay, so let's just say our office is 10-mile radius around 11 Howard in New York. Okay. Now, this part is really, really important. This whole video is important. So make sure you guys are paying attention here. Under this tab called location options, as you can see, you can scroll right by it really quickly. You don't want to scroll by that. Okay. Locations options. And this is one of the reasons why you're getting a lot of leads that are out of the area. Okay. I've talked to a lot of business owners where they're like, hey, Jordan, we're seeing leads come in and phone calls come in, but they're calling from out of the area. Like that's not the area that we service. Okay. And this is the reason why we want to be targeting people in or regularly in our targeted locations. Okay. We don't want to target the recommended by Google here, people in, regularly in, or who have shown interest in our target locations. And the difference between these two is that, let's say I am in Los Angeles and I search up for, a plumber, a lawyer, or whatever business in, Howard, New York, or New York. We don't want our ads showing up to someone in Los Angeles. And you might make the argument of saying, hey, Jordan, what if someone is calling for their parents or their kid or whatever the case may be there? I want my ad to still show up for that person. And even though you may be right for that, that is not what we want to spend our ad dollars on. When we're spending our, marketing budget, we want to be targeting our ideal customers, okay? So we want to show our ads only to people who have the highest intent to move forward right now within our area. Okay. So we don't want our ads showing up to anyone outside of our area that we're not servicing. So select that option right there. For languages, super simple. If you're targeting English speakers, then go ahead and do that. Audience segment, I don't really mess around too much with it because we target based off keywords. So you don't really have to worry too much about this for now. I'm just going to keep it really simple for you guys. And here we can keep it as is. For under more settings for ad rotation, we can just leave it as optimized, prefer best performing ads. And this is going to allow Google to just show your best performing ads. So later on, when I show you guys how to create high compelling ad copies, Google is just going to show the best ones. Okay. So don't worry about that unless you want Google to rotate your ads indefinitely. So when we create more than one ad copy, basically you can either have Google show the best performing one most of the time, or you can have it rotate the ads equally and each ad will get, equal data, and you can kind of go in, and it takes a little bit more manual work because you got to go in, look at the data and see which is performing. But if you want to kind of be a little bit hands off that part, which is okay in this sense, then you can just leave it as optimized. All right, more settings. Start and end date, super simple, right? We can start whatever day we want to set it to, and end date, you can end it on a certain day. Maybe you're running a promo, you can end it, but I'll just leave it as not set. A lot of businesses may run the ads all day, okay? And you might be sending your leads to a voicemail, to a intake team or after hour team, or like I said, or just going to voicemail. You only want to run your ads when you have someone trained and available, be able to pick up the phone and book those leads and close those leads. Okay. So you have to you have to have someone be able to pick up the phone who have sales skills. All right. So we've had clients where I was working with a lawyer and they were sending all their calls to a call center where they weren't trained to close, accident cases or, book these leads in. And we were working with a different client where they were a plumbing business, but like I think his wife or his mom was answering the phone and she was just having conversations with these leads, right? So that is not the purpose. If we are running ads, the whole purpose is to get new customers. And so we need someone who is trained and available during ad hours, be able to pick up the phone to close the leads. Now, if that for you is 24/7, then that's okay. But don't be running your ads during hours where there's not someone available to pick up the phone. Okay. So if it's during business hours, then run it during business hours. Okay. So it might be Monday through Fridays, and then you can kind of select the time. Okay. And then you can also add in the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. Now, depending on what your ad budget looks like as well, if you have a smaller ad budget, then you might not be want to run your ads every single day because your budget's gonna be spread out too much on every single day. Instead, we want to compress it so that way we have a higher daily budget, which I'll explain a little bit later on, so you can actually get more traffic. All right. So Monday through Friday, Saturday through Sundays. If you're just business hours, then just leave it as Monday through Fridays, and then you can kind of go through here and select your hours. But remember that you only want to run your ads when someone is available, trained to close the leads that you generate. All right. So hopefully super straightforward so far. From here, we're just going to go ahead and click next. All right. So from here, we're going to go ahead and leave this guide. Now, from here, we're going to create it myself. Okay. You can have Google's, is getting smarter. They have AI and beta mode and stuff like that. But like I said, you want to be in control of your ads as much as possible. Okay. You don't really want Google to be in control of your ads. And one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make is actually listening to Google representatives. So if you have ran ads in the past, a Google representative might have reached out to you, you might have talked to one, and they might have given you recommendations, make this change, make this tweak, and all of a sudden your campaign just goes to crap. That I'm just going to save you guys a lot of time and money now. Just don't listen to Google representatives. All right. So that little golden nugget alone is going to save you a lot of frustrations. All right. So from here, we're just going to go ahead and create it myself. So here we are. We're going to start creating the ad group. Okay. And so I had mentioned that the campaign is the house. Okay. And inside of this house are individual rooms. Okay. And each individual room is your ad group. Okay. And in each room, we want to have a very specific service. Okay. So if we have an ad group one or room number one, we don't want it to be different services inside of there. Okay. We need everything to be as cohesive as possible. All right. So for example, if you are a plumber, okay, if you are a plumber and you are targeting plumbing keywords, then it needs to be all about plumbing. Okay. We don't want plumbing keywords, and then we don't want drain cleaning. We don't want hydrojetting. We don't want, whatever else. We don't want water heater repairs and installation. We want to be very, very specific. Okay. And I would even break it apart. If you're doing water heaters, installation and repairs, I would have an ad group for water heater installation and a separate ad group for water heater repairs. Okay, that is how specific you need to be. Okay, so for another example, let's say you're an accident lawyer. Okay, you're an accident lawyer. Accidents. We're going to name the ad group that. Okay, that means in this specific ad group, all the keywords need to be about accidents. Okay, car accident, vehicle accident, motor vehicle accidents, truck accidents, motorcycle accidents, Uber accidents. Okay. It needs to be specific. And even with Ubers, I would probably even separate that out into its own ad group for just specifically Uber accidents or rideshare accidents. Okay. And so we need to really separate that out, okay? And then, for example, so we have car accidents. Let's say you are doing slip and falls, okay? Slip and falls, all right? So we wouldn't want, car accidents. We wouldn't want to be targeting car accidents and slip and fall accidents in one ad group because they are different. So I really want to emphasize and stress the importance of breaking out the ad groups and breaking it out into its individual rooms. Okay. I've audited a lot of ad accounts with even with other marketing agencies that has reached out to me for help. I go in there and I'm seeing that it's not broken up uh, properly. Okay. And we want to do this because we want to be as relevant as possible to the person that is searching for whatever it is that they want. Okay, so if they're searching for a slip and fall lawyer, our ads and keywords need to all about slip and falls, right? Otherwise, they're gonna be confused and they're not gonna convert. Okay, so that is how detailed we need to be when it comes to creating our campaign, right? So let's just say we create a lot of drain cleaning ad groups for our plumbing clients. So let's just say that this room specifically is going to be for all about drain cleaning. Okay. So here we can enter a URL to scan for keywords. You can type, you can put in your website and Google will scan it. It'll suggest you some keywords. However, Google is going to not really oblige by the rule of being specific. It's just going to give you a bunch of keywords where it's not specific to this ad group. Okay. So that's why when Google makes the recommendations, I would still go in, not trust them fully, go in there and make the necessary changes. Okay. And then you can also enter products or services to advertise. So let's just say drain plumber. Okay. That's the keywords that we're trying to get here. Let's see if Google can give us any recommendations. So okay, there we go. We just had to hit another time. So here we go. We have drain plumber, hydrojet plumbing, block drain, clog drain plumber, roto-rooter plumber, block toilet plumber. So all of these are, relatively pretty good, right? So everything that has to do with drains here is solid, okay? Pretty good. So here's the point that I'm trying to make is that if you type in a keyword here for whatever reason, and Google gives you these recommendations here, as you can see, it's and I did this on purpose. As you can see, it's very broad, right? Google gave you accident, divorce, immigration, worksman, family, tax. Okay. These are all different types of lawyers, right? And so you would want to break them up apart in each to of its own ad group. So this needs to be in its own ad group, right? The divorces need to be in its own ad group, immigration. So hopefully you guys can kind of start seeing that, all right? So there are three different types of keywords. There's broad match, phrase match, and exact match. And if you want the definition straight from Google, you can click on learn more. In my own definition, the broad match keyword, for example, I'm going to change this to plumber actually, just to keep it simple. The broad match keyword, let's just say we are targeting plumber, the keyword plumber near me. So anytime someone searches up the word plumber near me, our ad's going to show up. Now, broad match means there are no, special characters by it. Okay, so we have that one as a broad match. This one is going to be our phrase match, which is in quotations. And then lastly, in brackets, is going to be your exact match. I'm going to explain the difference between these three keywords. Okay, so for plumber near me, this is broad match because it has no special characters on it. It's just spelled out the way it is. And so Google will show your ad if it believes the searcher is searching up for something similar. So your ad will show up if someone searched up like, I don't know, plumbing school near me or something like that, plumbing schools. So your ad will show up if Google believes that it is similar to this keyword, which is why it's called broad match. And we don't really want to use broad match as much because your ads is just going to be attracting too much traffic and maybe getting too many clicks. That's just too broad. Okay. And unless you have a really extensive negative keywords list where we're filtering out the searches, then I don't really recommend using broad match starting out. What I do recommend starting out is using these two, phrase match and exact match. And even then now, I mean, and Google has kind of broadened the phrase match up a little bit anyways. I still like to go with the phrase and exact match. And so phrase match is basically when someone searches up in the search engine and your keyword has to be in that specific order for your ad to show up. Okay. So for example, if someone searches up top plumber near me, then your ad's gonna trigger. If someone searches up plumber near me top, your ad's going to search up plumber near me, Los Angeles, right? Your ad will show up or trigger. Right. So anything before or after whatever's in the parentheses or quotes, then your ad will trigger. And lastly, we have the exact match. Pretty straightforward. Someone has to search up this exact keyword phrase in order for your ad to trigger. So someone literally has to go to Google and type in plumber near me in that exact way for your ad to trigger. Now, like I mentioned, the phrase match Google has broadened it up a little bit. So, you can kind of not use the broad match and just go straight to the phrase match for now. And that's going to be your best bet. Okay. So phrase match and exact match is what I'm going to recommend. So from down here, this is where we create ad copies. So with our ad groups, this is our first one. Later on, you can create more ad groups. Okay, Google doesn't give you the option to create more ad groups for now so that you can break apart your services. So you'll be able to do that later on. Now we're going to start creating ad copies. From here, we're going to create, you're just going to go ahead and copy and paste your final URL here. This is the URL where you want to send your traffic to, okay? Now, really important is that you don't want to be sending your traffic to your website. A lot of businesses make the mistake of sending traffic to their website. And you might have spent a lot of money on your website. It might look beautiful, but guess what? It's not going to turn web page visitors into leads for your business. What you need to do is be sending all that traffic coming from Google Ads and paid online advertising to a landing page, to a high converting landing page, I should mention, right? So you want to send to a landing page that is designed specifically to convert web page visitors, online ads into leads for your business, okay? So I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to do that later on too, but just stick with me. So from here, this is the URL that we want to send the traffic to, so that whatever that may be. Now for the display path, that's just what's going to show on the ad right here. And we want to fill it out. We want to fill out your ad as much as possible. Okay. So whatever characters it gives us, we want to fill it out to the maximum. If it gives us 2 boxes, we want to fill out both boxes. All right. Because essentially we want to take up more real estate when we're running ads. The bigger our ad looks, the more likely people are going to click onto our ad. We're going to have a higher click-through rate, which means Google is going to reward us by giving us lower costs, right? So super important to fill out as much as possible. So for example here, let's say we are targeting plumbers, okay? So I would type in plumbers. And if you can squeeze in a couple more characters, then you can do that. And maybe you offer free estimates, okay? So as you can see there, we filled in both boxes, plumbers and free estimates. So you can put in whatever case you want, and that's gonna pop up like right there. So example.com/plumbers/free estimates. Okay, now from here, this is where we start creating our headline. This is where our ad is going to look like when it shows up. So we might put in, so actually, let me teach you guys the anatomy of a high converting ad copy, right? So we have 3 headlines. Google most of the time is just going to show the first 2 headlines here. And the first headline, I like to put who we are, what we are, okay? So in this case, we are a plumber. Now, we're not just going to type in plumber, right? We probably want to, include how great we are. So maybe we are the #1 award-winning plumbers, okay? And we get up to 30 characters. We might want to put #1 plumbers in Los Angeles. Okay, so whatever the case you guys might want. Now, a lot of people might put, their business name. So for example, you might put, Oasis Plumbing. And this is good if you are trying to maybe attract returning customers, okay? People who are already, maybe know who you are and maybe they're looking for you, okay? And yes, you can do that, but if we're running ads, we ideally we want to generate new customers, okay? And if we have existing customers or if we have customers that are already who we are looking specifically for us, then we can just bank off of the organics and our SEO to do that for us, right? So if they search up our specific company, they should be able to just find that off of Google. But if we're running ads, we sort of want to pay for we want to get our foot in the door with new customers. So that's why I don't really like to target or use our headline with our company name in it. And they can kind of see the URL and things anyways, so they can see our company name. So I like to, write ad copy that is going to convert, right? And when people see it, they want to go with us. So maybe we might want to put, I don't know, #1 award-winning plumbers. Okay, let's just start with that. Okay, we're the #1 award. Maybe we're voted #1, whatever it is, we can go ahead and place that in headline #1. And what you can do also, if you don't want Google to switch out your headlines, you can pin it, right? So we click on this pin here. We can tell Google to say, hey, we only want to show this headline in position #1. So it's going to be right there. Headline #2 is what I like to call the incentive headline. Why should they call us? Why should they hire us? Okay. So here we want to have some sort of incentive or a call to action. So maybe you are a lawyer, maybe you want to do call for a free consultation. Okay. Maybe not all lawyers offer free consultation, and you can stand out with your ad copy by offering free consultations. And you might say, hey, Jordan, you know what? That's pretty self-explanatory. Everyone offers a free estimate, a free quote, or free consultation. Well, believe it or not, but a lot of people who are searching up online don't know that. They don't know that it's free consultation, free quotes, free estimates. So you can still include that in your ad copy. And we're going to create multiple ad copies and see what works, right? So call for free consultation. Maybe you are really good at, same day service, right? So some people like same day services. You can type in same day service. Maybe you're fast, reliable, and affordable, right? That's within 30 characters, right? Maybe you're the cheapest in town, whatever it is, right? What is your incentive? What is the call to action that goes into headline #2, right? So maybe you might only charge, I don't know, you might do $0 service calls. Okay. Why should I call you? Right. Headline #2 needs to have a really good incentive or offer for the customer to call you. And this needs to stand out from your competitors, because it needs to stand out or be better than your competitors, I should say. Because if your ad just looks like everybody else, then chances are, it's not going to be as successful. All right. So stand out, have a better offer or have a competitive offer or incentive, so that way people will call you. Make your offer work for your ad and not the ad work for your offer. So if you have a really good offer, your campaign is naturally going to convert because you came up with a really good offer that people want. So I'm going to go ahead and pin that to #2. Now, headline #3 doesn't get shown often. Most of the time, it doesn't get shown. And I mean, let's just kind of see an example of that here. So we search up plumber near me, right? As you can see, this one just has 2 headlines. This one looks like it could be 3 headlines. This is headline #1. I'm not sure if this is one headline, but no trip fees, free estimates. All right. So you can see here 2 headlines. So most of the time, they're only going to show 2 headlines. So don't worry so much about headline #3. But headline #3 is what I like to call the authority headline. Okay. I want to let people know that we are successful and we are really good at what we do. Okay. So maybe you might have been in business for over 20 years. Okay. So maybe over over 20 plus years of experience. Okay, some sort of authority that's going to make you help you stand out from everybody else. Okay, maybe you have another incentive that you can put here. Okay, so on top of service calls, maybe you might do, same day service. Okay, so you could do that too, and you can pin that to headline number 3. All right, so headline number 3 is not as important as the first two, but for headline number 3, I like to either have another incentive on top of the second one or have some type of authority uh, headline that's going to help us stand out and say, hey, we are truly professionals and this is why you should choose us. This is why we're better than everybody else, right? And then Google is going to give you options to fill out as many headlines as you want. If it's not pinned, then Google will naturally just rotate it and place it wherever it believes, you're going to get your ads going to be more high converting. So you can fill it out as much as you want. I personally don't like to fill it out all the boxes, right? It gives it a whole lot. And the reason for that is if you have too many headlines, then you're not going to know which headline is truly working and which one is actually converting for you. So what I actually do is I create 3 separate ads, and then from there, I can see which ad is performing well. So for example, this one says 0 service call, same day service. Let's say we click done. And then Google doesn't do it now, but Google will give you the option to create more ads later on. So there's a lot of little things here that Google is doing that they really want to be in control of your ads. Okay. So for another example here is that they used to allow you to create multiple ads. Okay. You can create up to 3 responsive search ads, but right now they only let you create 1 because they want you to create put more headlines into here. And like I said, if you put all like 10 headlines into here, you're not going to know which headline is working. But if we only have 3 headlines and we have, 2 more ads with different headlines, we're going to see exactly which one is converting. Right. So I'll show you guys how to create more headlines and all that stuff later on. But hopefully you understand the anatomy of a successful high converting ad copy. All right, so from down here, you can create your descriptions. You have to create a minimum of 2 descriptions, okay? So you can just, write whatever is relevant to your business. You can write whatever it is that you guys want. This one's pretty self-explanatory, just descriptions that goes under your ad. So we are a plumbing company serving Los Angeles. Okay, and same day service, okay, more incentives, whatever it is that you want. And that's going to show right below your headlines. Okay. Don't worry about these extensions yet. We'll dive deeper into that. Those are really important as well, as it helps. That's going to help your ad take up more real estate. It's going to look bigger, and that's going to increase your click-through rate. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and trash this one because if I try to launch a campaign, Google is not going to let me. Okay, so from here, I'm going to hit next. Now, from here, Google is going to recommend the budget, okay? And as you can see here, $500 per day, $480 per day is a lot, okay? There's 30 days. I mean, you're going to be spending a good amount of money, and maybe not all of you guys have, $15,000 to $20,000 to start out and run on $500 a day on ads, right? So you can go ahead and set a custom budget. Now, what I do want to mention is that if your budget is too small on Google, you're not going to see traffic. You're not going to see leads. Okay. So if you're thinking, hey, you know what? I just want to run ads. I'm going to try it out. Maybe I'm going to allocate $500 a month towards Google Ads. Chances are you're probably not going to see a whole lot of activity. Okay. Now it also depends on what niche you're in. Okay. So for example, if you're in a more competitive niche like personal injury, accident lawyers, and you're looking to get an accident case off of $1,000 budget, chances are you're not going to see anything. Okay. For most companies for most industries and niches, I would say the minimum is anywhere between 2,500 to 5,000 allocated towards Google Ads. Obviously, you're not getting charged up front or anything like that. That's just set aside, and that's going to go towards your campaign. Okay. For other niches, maybe smaller, like we've worked with mobile auto detailing businesses. I mean, you can get away with, 500 bucks, 1,000 bucks maybe, and see some activity. But for more, of the niches where we're in plumbing, electricians, HVACs, we want to have a minimum of anywhere between 2,500 on the minimal side to like more recommended 5,000 and even higher than that. And we've actually helped our clients. When he first started with us, his budget was around $5,000 a month for his plumbing company. And we've actually helped him scale this campaign. And he's now actually spending $150,000 per month on Google Ads. And obviously, it is profitable because otherwise he wouldn't be spending that much. But we were able to help him scale his campaign to that amount, right? So obviously, we didn't just jump from 5,000 to 150,000. We slowly increased in increments, and that's the same thing that you guys can do. So start off with whatever you're comfortable with, but obviously, nothing too small unless otherwise you're not gonna see enough activity. But start with a budget that you're gonna get some data, and then from there you can start increasing in increments. All right. So let me show you guys how the budget works. Okay. So let's say that you want to allocate $5,000 per month on your Google Ads. Okay. So what should your daily budget be? Now, Google is going to recommend you some other budget because it's assuming that you're going to be running ads every single day, which is 30 days in a month. Okay. But let's just say you are running your campaign for only during business days, right? Monday through Fridays, 5 days a week. Okay. So that's 5 days a week that you're running ads. There's 4 weeks in a month, which means you're running your ads for 20 days per month. And so if your ad budget is $5,000, you want to take 5,000 and divide that by the amount of days that you are running ads. And in this case, it would be 20 days. Okay. So that would give us a daily budget of $250. Okay. So if your ad budget is 5,000 for the month and you're only running ads Monday through Fridays, then your daily budget is $250 per month. Okay. Let's just say your ad budget is $10,000. And let's just say you only run on the weekends for whatever reasons. Okay. Just maybe Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, 3 days a week. There are 4 weeks in a month, 3 times 4, 12. So that means you're running your ads for 12 days in a month. So I would take $10,000, divide that by 12 days that we're running ads, and that's going to give us $833.33 per day. Okay, you don't really have to add the cents. $833 per day. Okay, so that's how you come up with what your daily budget should be. Okay, so you need to figure out how much you want to allocate to your marketing budget, and then divide that by the amount of days that you're actually running ads in a month. Then you'll get your daily budget. If you're running up for 30, just divide it by 30. Okay. So from there, we're going to go ahead and hit next. All right. So your campaign is almost ready to publish. So just go ahead and double check everything. Make sure it all looks good. If everything looks good, all you need to do is just hit publish campaign. Don't worry, your campaign cannot run without ads, right? We didn't create any ads because it's not going to allow me without a final URL. So go ahead and hit publish. All right, guys. So congratulations. You just launched your campaign. Now let's see what are the next steps, how to optimize it, how to make sure we have everything set up properly so that when our campaign is starting to run, that it needs to be doing whatever it needs to be doing, right? So as you can see here, status up here says bid strategy learning. It's basically Google's AI bidding strategy learning what's going to get you clicks, what's going to get you conversions, and that's what their smart bidding strategy. Okay, it's going to take some time for them to get data to get what it is that whatever your goal is. Okay, so I promise you guys, I'm going to show you guys how to change out of that smart bidding strategy so that you can be in more control of your ads, and that is the next step now. Okay, so I mean, we can kind of filter up here. You can see all your campaigns. You can see your campaigns here. If you don't see it, click on this, make sure it's on enabled, and so forth. Okay, you can see your ad groups. I create an ad group called plumber, right? So from here, we want to click show more. That way you can kind of just see everything. Now, the first thing I like to do is go into the engine under the hood of the campaign, just to triple check everything is set up properly. So what we want to do is go into our settings. From here, campaign name, our conversion goal, we're going to go over that in a little bit. Marketing objective is to generate more leads. Our campaign right now is enabled. Our networks, we want to make sure they're turned off. Our budget's correct. Our bidding, okay? So this is where our bidding strategy is. You can always come in here and change it later on. So right now we're telling Google, hey, I want you to bid for me to maximize clicks, get the most clicks as possible on my ad with my budget, okay? And later on when we do keyword planning, we're going to figure out how to set a maximum cost per click bid limit and all that good stuff. But we want to change the bid strategy, all right? And what do you want to focus on? Well, these are all these smart bidding strategies, okay? And in order for you to be in control of your ads, we want to go down here where it says select bid strategy directly, not recommended by Google. We're going to go ahead and click on that. From here, we want to click on manual CPC. And even then, Google is going to try to still be in control of your ads by having you check mark this and allowing them to increase your bidding if needed to help with conversions. Okay, we don't really need that, so we can just be fully in control of. This is how you're going to be in fully control of what you're paying per click. Okay, so what my bidding strategy is I like to start off with manual CPC, and that way I know exactly what my cap is per click, how much I'm willing to pay per click on a specific keyword, okay? And from there, once I start getting more data, and usually I think by Google's rule, it's about once you start getting 30 conversions, 30 consistent conversions per month, meaning phone calls, leads, and it's being tracked properly, and your data is saying you're getting 30 conversions, then I would switch over to maximize conversions and then setting a target cost per action. So from here, once you start getting data, you're going to know what your cost per conversion looks like or cost per lead. Okay, so maybe after 3 months or so, you know that based off your data from running ads, you know that your lead on average cost is $50 per lead. Okay, so once we have sufficient data, we switch over maximize conversions and we tell Google to say, hey, we want you to go out and get us leads for $50 because we know that is how much we've been getting on average. Okay, so that's kind of like a little tip for you. That's a little bit advanced, but for you, those of you guys, if you guys want to just keep it simple, manual CPC will work perfectly fine. Okay, from there, we're just gonna hit save. Additional settings, everything here looks good. All right, so from here, we're gonna go to ad schedule. I like to just double check everything, okay? So here we are, Monday through Fridays. If we need to adjust that, hit the pencil button. If you can't read the 24-hour clock, you can switch it over to the 12-hour clock by pressing on that right there. And then we can switch it to business hours, 8 a.m. to maybe 9 p.m. Okay, so that's the times that we are trained and available to pick up the phone. And then we'll hit save. Okay, as you can see here, Google is going to update that ad schedule. Now, let's say you want to just add specific days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, or if you want to do Saturdays and Sundays, you can do that there. If you want to do just individual Saturdays, Sundays, so you can kind of mess around with your ad schedule, however you want to run your ads, all right? So we have our ad schedule, looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and check the locations. We are targeting a 10-mile radius around our office or wherever you're located there, which is perfect. We also want to exclude areas, okay? This is a little bit more advanced as well, but we want to be excluding areas that you don't want to target, okay? So for example, if you don't want to target the Yonkers area, okay? So Yonkers, Okay, we want to exclude that area. Okay, so for whatever reason, if there are certain areas that you don't want to service or you don't want to go to, then you can exclude those specific areas. Okay. And then we already did so locations we did, settings were good, audience we don't have to worry too much about. Keywords. Okay, so let's go into the keyword now. As you can see here, we have three keywords targeted. Okay, and you don't really need an extensive list of targeted keywords. I've seen some ad accounts that have they're targeting like 50 different keywords. My suggestion is that you just want to target the highest intent keywords for you. Okay. So, for example, we don't want to be targeting the keyword plumbing, right? Because that keyword is just too broad. It's just going to attract all types of traffic, all types of clicks. So, if someone searches up the word plumber near me, chances are they're looking for a plumber to hire. Okay. So, I like to just stick with the highest intent keywords. Okay. So, plumber near me, plumber in whatever area you're in, those are all going to be good, right? So right now, Google isn't letting me bid on the individual keyword. So once I hit refresh, there it is. So once you have max CPC here, you're going to get this option. Once we have that manual CPC option turned on in the settings. So from here, you can start bidding. You can kind of change it to how much you want to pay for that specific keyword. Now, like I said, if you are, let's say you only bid $5 on this specific keyword of plumber near me, chances are you're not going to get any clicks, you're not going to get any traffic because you're not bidding aggressive enough. So if you bid too low, you're not going to see any traffic. But if you bid too high, then you're going to be a little bit more aggressive. Your ads are going to show up more often, higher, but you might blow through your budget a little bit more. So you need to find that sweet spot that works for you. Okay. Now, how do we know what is our range? How much should we be spending on a specific keyword? And that is what we're going to cover now. So up here, tools and settings, we're going to go under planning here. We're going to click on keyword planner. From here, just go ahead and click got it. Hit get search volume and forecast. We can just type in whatever here. Get started. I'm going to go to keyword ideas and I'm going to change the location. Okay. We don't want to get ideas for the whole United States. We want to target our specific area. So let's just, for example, we are targeting Los Angeles. Okay. So here we are, about 20 million people. We can hit save. All right. So we're going to type in the keyword that you want to target. So whatever it is, type that in here. So for example, plumber near me, HVAC near me. It could be a car accident lawyer near me. Whatever it is, type that in here. Hit enter. That blue button will show up. And then we're just going to hit get results. So here is the data for specifically Los Angeles. Okay. It's going to vary depending on the market. So for the keyword plumber near me, it's going to give us, average monthly searches. It's obviously a lot of search volume. And you can expect to pay anywhere between $25 all the way up to, about $73. Okay. So on the low, top of the page on the low range, you'll be paying $25. On the high range, you'd be paying $73. Now, this is going to depend on a lot of different factors, okay? So depending on the seasonality, how much competition there is for that day, that month, that week, whatever it is. And then also depending on how well your campaign is set up, right? So how good are your ad copies? Is your click-through rate high? Is your landing page good? Right? All those things play a factor into what Google will charge you for that click. Okay. So if your ads aren't good, and you kind of just slap together a campaign, chances are you might be paying a little bit on the higher end. Now, let's just say that you have everything set up properly. You followed this tutorial and everything is set up the right way, like how it should be. Then it just comes down to how aggressive you want to be with your bidding. Okay. So let's just say, I've worked with clients where they just want to be absolutely number one at the top of the page every single time. And they don't care about, what we're spending. We just want to be number one and we want to capture everyone that is searching for a plumber near me or whatever the case may be. then you would probably want to bid closer to this number here at $72.59. Now, remember that these numbers can change, like it can change on, on a monthly basis or year changes, depending on seasonality, market, and things like that. Okay. But doesn't it's not going to change like too often. So don't worry about having to go back here and check in every single day. But let's just say that you want to be number one every single time. Then, like I said, you would bid somewhere closer to here. Now, if you want to be a little bit more conservative, maybe you don't want to be spending $73 per click because that's, pretty aggressive, then, I like to just be like right in the middle. Maybe we could be, at $50, okay? And if you want to be a little bit more conservative, maybe you don't have a big budget, then we can probably be closer to like this number, maybe $30, $40 that we're willing to pay per a click on this specific keyword, okay? So if we didn't do this research and we didn't know that the minimum that we need to bid to be at the top of the page on Google, then, we might have put in, $10 to bid on this specific keyword. And then we might be scratching our head like, hey, you know what? How come we're not seeing any traffic? How come we're not getting any clicks? How come we're not getting any phone calls or leads coming for our business? And the reason for that is because your ad isn't showing up, right? And that's because you're not bidding aggressive enough. So we need to be making sure that we're bidding aggressive enough, okay? And as you can see here, Google is going to give you some other recommendations if we are targeting other keywords. So for example, keyword 24-hour plumber near me. You can expect to pay anywhere between $30 to $90 on the high end, okay? Plumbing service near me, here and here. So this is how you do a little bit of research and you kind of see, which keywords are getting a lot of search volume, what the competition level looks like, and then how much those keywords are going to cost you, right? So we can maybe find some keywords that might not cost as much. So, you know, kind of going down and you can kind of go through that and see. But obviously, the more broad the keyword is, then the cheaper the cost is going to be. The more high intent the keyword is, chances are there's more people bidding on that specific keyword. And so that's why the cost may be a little bit higher. But nonetheless, you can kind of go through here and see what you can expect to pay. Now, you don't have to, let's just say you are targeting like multiple keywords, like 8 of these keywords are in your ad group, for example. You don't need to be, be very specific on each keyword. You can be meticulous about it, but that's just going to take up a lot of time. Okay. So what I like to do is just find the average, right? Let's just say I know it's going to be looks like anywhere between $25 to like $90 on the super high end. Then if I have, let's say, plumbing companies near me, plumber near me, local plumber near me in one ad group, then I would just set it at like maybe $52 for all the keywords. Okay. And that's going to work. So that way you don't have to go in here and bid per keyword, right? You don't have to be that detailed unless you want to, but it's still going to be very you're still gonna be successful if you just pick one number that is going to be that works for you and still going to get traffic. Okay, so that's how you do the keyword planning. Hopefully this part of the lesson makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know in the comment section below. From here, we have the keyword setup, and let's say that we now know for the keywords for plumber near me, it's going to be anywhere between $25 to $75. And let's just say we want to be somewhat aggressive with it, and we want all 3 of these keywords. We want to bid $52 on it, $55 on it. So what we could do is select all, hit edit, change max CPC, and this is just a quick way to change your bidding for all your keywords. We want to bid $55, hit save. And there we go. We're now bidding $55 on these keywords. And we know that this should be enough for us to be seen, our ad be shown, and get clicks and traffic, okay? And if we want to be very aggressive, all right, we want to show up at the top of the page for like most of the time, number 1, then maybe we could do anywhere between $70 to $90 because that's what we saw in our keyword planner. All right, so for this specific keyword, plumber near me, we saw that it was like $72. So we'll bid $72 or maybe $70. Okay. Or we want to be a little bit more aggressive than what it recommends. We can do $73. Okay. So nonetheless, that is how bidding works and how we can kind of play with it and be more in control of what we're paying. All right. And so if you have it at, if I go back to settings here, and let's just say, you're like, Jordan, I'm a business owner. I don't have time to go through here and mess with the manual CPC. Well, you can have us, me and my team, manage it for you, set up and manage it for you. Or if you want to go back to the bidding strategy, then like I said, we went to focus on clicks. You can set a maximum cost per click bid limit. Okay. And like I said, same thing. We saw the keyword planner. We don't want to pay anywhere. We don't want to pay anything more than $75. Or if you want to be a little bit more conservative, we don't want to pay anything more than $55, $40, whatever it is, because we know what the range is between this number and this number in order to get traffic. All right. So manual CPC is how you be in control of your ads. So that's our search keywords here. And negative keywords is really important. I'm very surprised by a lot of people who have marketing agencies run the ads for them, and they do not have an extensive list of negative keywords. And if you do, you only have a couple hundred of keywords, then you're still not really extensive list. Okay. With us, when we run ads for our clients, we actually are in the thousands. I believe we have like maybe over 3,000 negative keywords for all of our clients. Okay. And this is how we filter out these searches. Okay. This is how we filter out a lot of searches, a lot of bad quality clicks. Okay. Because someone in your area might search for something out of your area and your ad may trigger for that. Okay. So we want to have a lot of negative keywords. We want to have a list of negative keywords to filter out searches that we don't want our ads to trigger for, show up for. Okay. So a lot of the ads that I've seen, a lot of, companies that run ads for themselves or have market agencies run for them, your negative keywords list needs to be extremely, extremely extensive. That way you're not wasting money on clicks and your ads are showing to people that shouldn't be shown to. Right. So ads here, like I said, you can create up to 3 responsive search ads. You can also create a call ad here. If we just click on this plus sign, call ad just means, people see the ad, they click on it to call. So it's more going to show up more so on mobile versions. And that's going to be the call ad. Now, here's the responsive search ads here. You can go ahead and click on that. It's going to ask you which ad group you want to create the ad for. We're going to create it for the plumber. And once you create your 3 headlines and your 2 descriptions and you put in your URL, hopefully you're setting it to a landing page, and you have this all filled out, you just can go ahead and click save ad and you'll have 1 ad pop up. Now, like I mentioned, we want to be split testing our ad copies to see which ads are working, which headlines are converting. So once you have your first ad created, I would go back, click the plus sign, and create another one with a different set of headlines. So that way we can now split test and see which ones are working. Google will allow you to create up to 3 search ads. So I would recommend creating all 3 and then seeing which one works best, and then pausing out one that's not working, and then stick with and leave the ones that are working on, and then creating another ad. That way you always have 3 ads running at a time. And then you're always testing something new, right? To see if you can improve on the numbers that you already have. So that's ads. Assets is where we create our extensions, which is super, super important. This is how we take up more real estate on the Google's page. We look bigger, and so more people we're going to drive more traffic through that. So we're going to click on the plus sign, and the ones that we absolutely want to have is number 1, we want to have site link extensions. We want to have call out extensions. We want to have the call extension, and then we want to have the location extension. So those are the 4 assets or extensions. Well, they used to be called extensions. They're called assets now. They're the same thing in case you guys are confused. But 4 assets that is most important. That way it takes up more real estate. Let me see if I can show you guys what an example of that looks like. Here, like I said, are the headlines. Number one, they have 1, 2, 3 headlines. The path is the display path right there, which is the display URL. So that's not important. I want to actually go down here and show you guys the extensions, okay? So the location extension is the address right here in green. It's going to show your address right there. So people are going to be able to see your address. It's also going to pop up on the Google Map ads. If you want to show up on the map ads, you want to have your location extension set up, okay? And that, in order to set that up, you need to create a Google My Business. So you haven't already, create one, and then you'll be able to link your office or your location to Google My Business. From there, you can link the Google My Business to your Google Ads account, and your ads will start showing up on the map ads, okay? And then it will also show the address here in your ad. Your site link extensions is here it is, 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll show up to 4 site links at a time. And they're basically just extra links that people can click on to get onto your landing page, okay? So this whole thing is the ad. As you can see, it's much bigger. It takes up more real estate when you have everything filled out. Okay, so here we have it. Site links gonna make your page, your ad pop out a lot more. Call extension, it's gonna have the call right here. People can click on it and call right away. Site link descriptions, that's part of the site links. Where's the call out? Okay, call outs right here, blue. So after your description, which is right here, your call out, your little call outs are kind of like little descriptive words about your business. For example, award-winning agency, digital and social experts, certified sales coach. Those are examples of what call outs are. All right. So those are the most important extensions: site links, call out, and location. All right. So those are the 4 that I highly recommend you start out with. Now, the next tab I want to show you guys is the recommendations tab. All right. All right, guys. So here we are in the recommendations tab. Now, Google is going to recommend you a lot of things to do for your campaign as you run your ads. A lot of times their recommendations are questionable. They're not the best when it comes to running an optimized campaign. They're going to just try to recommend you things to be more in control of your ads and making tweaks and stuff like that. I like to just look at the recommendations just to kind of see what it is that they suggest, but I don't apply everything that they suggest to do, okay? And what they actually also do, which is a little weird, is that if you don't dismiss or apply the recommendation, like let's just say it's here and you don't do anything about it, Google will actually just auto apply the recommendation to your campaign. So sometimes you might be like, hey, you know what? That setting, I don't remember changing it to that setting ever. And it's because Google did an auto apply. And that's something that's really annoying. So it's super important that we want to change that option so that Google cannot make that auto apply on the recommendation. So in order to do that, we're going to click on the campaigns here. We're going to click on view all campaigns. Okay, so we want to do this at a account level, right? So from here, click on the recommendations tab again. And from here, like the recommendations will look something like this. Like obviously it's saying set up a payment method, which is something you do need to do. From here, this is going to show up the auto apply. This wasn't here earlier, but if you go to the account level, you should be able to see this. So what we're going to do is hit on auto apply, and we want to make sure that all of this is unchecked, okay? Everything needs to be unchecked. If it is checked, that means you're telling Google that, hey, I allow you to, auto apply that specific thing for me. Okay. And we don't want them to do that. All right. But I mean, if you can go through here, if something makes sense to you and you do want Google to help you out with that, then by all means. But for the most part, you don't want Google to be in control of how your campaign is running. All right. So that's how our campaign looks. Now, we're going back to the campaign that we just created here. You can look at the ad group that we're looking at that we just created as well. So that is exactly how you set up a campaign that is now going to be highly converting. Now, the last thing that I want to show you guys is how to set up conversion tracking. This is all of these parts are super important when it comes to creating a successful campaign, which is why it's not easy for most business owners who, have ran it themselves, slapped something together, and you're not really seeing any results. Okay. From here, we're going to go to tools and settings. And then under measurements, we're going to go to conversions. This is how we're not going to fly blind. We're going to know exactly where our leads are coming from. And when our leads do come, we're tracking it and we're telling Google, this is what a lead is to us. I want you to go out there and find more of that, right? Because if we're telling Google that our objective, our campaign is to generate leads, but we haven't defined what a lead is to Google, it won't know how to optimize for that. So we're going to go in here. We're going to hit on new conversion action. We're going to click on phone calls. And ideally, you want to create all three, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to create one of them because they're all pretty straightforward. And this one is the one that even requires some type of tracking code. So we're going to click on calls to a phone number on your website. We're going to hit continue. We're going to name it. We're just going to name it calls to website. Okay. This means that they clicked on our ad, they saw our landing page, they see our tracking number. And if you don't have a tracking number, I would highly suggest that you have a specific phone number that is for Google Ads. So that way, you know that it is coming from Google Ads. For us, we like to use a unique call tracking system. We use CallRail as our third-party software, so that way, whenever a call comes in, we can push that data back into the Google account or track as a conversion, and in that way, our algorithm can improve over time. So calls to website, value, we're not going to use a value. We're just going to leave it as one. Okay, we don't want every because we want to count each phone call as one conversion. Let's say one person might call 5 times. We don't want to count that as 5 conversions, okay? So one unique person is one conversion. From here, you're just going to type in your phone number. This should be the tracking number that you're using specifically for your Google Ads, okay? So it needs to be typed out the way it looks on exactly the way it looks on your landing page, okay? So let's just say that this is your number. This is the display number. That's what we're going to put. Call length. Now, this is going to tell Google, hey, the call must last this long in order for it to count as a conversion. Now, if we're putting 60 seconds, that means the call must have lasted 60 seconds or more in order for it to be a conversion. Now, this is good for if you just want more quality calls, because if we know that a phone call lasts for 60 seconds or more, that is a qualified lead, right? And let's just say maybe if the phone call only lasts for maybe, I don't know, less than 5 seconds, then chances are, they weren't a qualified lead. Okay, so you can kind of play around with this and see what works out for you. What I recommend is, 30 to 60 seconds will work. A lot of times, sometimes the calls will get dropped, so it might hang up a little bit earlier. Sometimes, it might go to voicemail. Maybe you didn't get a chance to pick up the phone. So those all play a factor into it. So you could do, whatever works best for you. 30 to 60 seconds, if you're really on top of it and you know that a call is a qualified lead at like 30 seconds route, or 30-second time mark, then just put it at 30 seconds, okay? Attribution, you can do data-driven or last click. I like to do, personally, last click because it's going to attribute the conversion towards whatever the person clicked on last. Either way, it's not going to hurt data-driven or last click. You should be good to go. Create and continue. So from here, you can go ahead and email the tag setup, the code to your manager, your web developer, and they can set it up for you. Or if you want to install the tag yourself, you can hit that. And this is the code that needs to go on the header of every single page of your website. Okay, so whatever pages that you're going to be sending traffic to, this code needs to be on the header of that. Your phone snippet, this code needs to be on every single page that has this phone number. Okay, so that way when when a visitor lands on your landing page and they call this number, it'll count as a conversion. Okay. So you need to have both of these codes in the header of your page in order for you to track conversions properly. If you don't have it set up properly, then you're going to be flying blind and your dashboard's not going to have the correct data. So we're just going to hit next and hit done. All right. So that is how we set up a campaign. Now, one more thing that I want you to mention to you guys, I remembered that I need to share with you guys, is that we need to be sending our traffic to a landing page and not a website. Okay. So for most of you guys might be sending traffic to a website, your beautiful website. And let's just say you are sending it to Plumber Near Me. Okay, super simple. We're gonna go back here. We're gonna look at the ads. So we're just gonna click on this ad and maybe like this ad. Here is an example of a landing page. As you can see, it's a very simple page. It doesn't have any buttons, external links that where I can click off of this page. It has a call to action, got a call to get a free estimate. If I scroll down, there's a form that I can fill out. And this page is designed to specifically either get me to call them or fill out a form. I would even go further, as in I wouldn't add these, I would not add these social media links, okay? Because we don't want people leaving our landing page. If people leave our landing page, they're not going to call, okay? And so this is an example here where what most business owners are doing. This is also an ad. And so what they'll do is they'll send it to a website like this. And as you can see, it has a lot of things going on. Okay, I could check out the reviews or frequently asked questions. I can go look at their blogs. I could do, auto chat here. Essentially, this is a nice website, but it's not going to convert leads into businesses, convert visitors into leads for your business, because there's just too much going on. People who are searching for things on the internet, and people in general, I would say, they have the attention span of about a goldfish. Okay. So you need to be able to convert that person into a lead for your business as soon as possible. You literally have, about 7 seconds to convert that visitor into a lead for your business, either a filled out form, or they're either calling you, all within 7 seconds. Now, it takes about 2 to 3 seconds for your web page to actually load up, which means you have about 4 seconds left to convert that person into a lead for your business. And within those 4 seconds, if that person is clicking around, chances are they're not going to turn into a lead for your business, okay? Unless they're already looking for you, like if they're searching specifically for reliable home comfort, then yeah, they'll convert into a lead. But if we're running ads, we shouldn't be targeting people who are already looking for us anyways, right? We don't want to be paying for those people. We want to be generating new customers, getting our foot in new doors. So that is the difference between a website like this one, where it's not going to convert, okay? And this is the mistake that I'm telling you guys. And this is with a marketing agency that is running for them as well. I mean, if you pull up the chat here, there's a little Scorpion logo, powered by Scorpion. So, Scorpion is a marketing agency. They're very big, very popular. They have a lot of different marketing, services, SEO, PPC, website development, and all that good stuff. But when it comes to their PPC here, if you're sending traffic to a website, it's not going to convert. And chances are with Scorpion, they're such a big company that they also work with a lot of your competitors, right? Maybe a lot of your competitors in one area. For us, we work exclusively. So that way, your website or your landing page and your ads doesn't look like everybody else. Okay. So with Scorpion, they have templates already. And when they work with multiple businesses in one area, including your competitors, you're not going to really be able to stand out, because the website design and template, chances are your ad copy, to keep their system and processes seamless for them, you're not going to be able to stand out. And that is why your ads are not going to convert. Okay. And a lot of clients, from all industries, legal, plumbing, HVAC, whatever it is, they came from us from Scorpion and said, we were paying a lot of money doing all these marketing efforts and services, but we weren't seeing any results. We weren't seeing the leads, right? Yeah, we got a couple leads here and there, but we were paying more for what we were getting. So if you want to stand out and you want to be exclusive, I definitely suggest you work with a marketing company that works exclusive companies in one area. So if you're looking for us, we can definitely help and set up, manage, and help you even scale your campaign like we've done for our clients. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. You'll be able to book a call with me or my team. From there, we'll see, what your goals are, where you're at, and how we can build out a strategy to get you to where it is that you want to be. All right. So if this video was helpful to you guys and you guys liked it, if it brought you any type of value whatsoever, drop a thumbs up. It would just help me out so much. And if you want to learn more about how to grow your business, using Google Ads, digital marketing, things like that, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If maybe taken this tutorial, use it for your business, and you just absolutely crushed it, let me know in the comment section. I want to know that I'm actually helping people out there. And if you want us to help you out, if you want to work with us, have us set it up, manage it for you, book a call with me and my team. I'll leave that link in the description below. So hopefully you guys can go out there and crush it with your Google Ads campaign now.